It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, you can see on my Sharp Interactive board, I got Rick Lambert and Cheryl Wiedmark from Into Communications. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing some stuff out there in the marketing place around marketing, especially for my friends in the Document Entity channel, that scares the hell out of me. You know, I have this Rayism. It goes like this. Don't live in a select copy-paste world. Be an original. I think there's two types of marketing going on today, folks. Two types. We have copy-paste marketing and we got strategy-based marketing. And today I want to talk with Rick and Cheryl about strategy-based marketing and why that's so important, and our friends need to run from this copy-paste nonsense. How are you doing?
Very good, Ray. Thank you for having us on the day after Canada Day. We revived, ready to go.
Well, you know, our 4th of July is coming up. I think it's this Sunday, so we're excited about that as well. And you know, Rick and Cheryl, I'm sitting there looking at some of this marketing that I'm seeing out there on the social media platform. And we all know that social media obviously is extremely important in marketing. I mean, you know, the numbers are in the high 80s of people that are engaged with social media, making that part of their decisions. They're finding engagement in social media. I know you guys have built a phenomenal social media platform, but it was always around a strategy. And, you know, when I see these, I just call it what it is. It's copy-paste material, or brochure selling, if you will, in the year 2000 just seems totally insane to me. You know, why are we not taking advantage of video and all the capabilities to give personal engagement at a personal level? We're talking about personal branding. I know, Cheryl, you're big on personal branding, and, you know, you're helping our friends that own these dealerships get out in public, get out on the video, and you know, why in the world would we want to just be out there promoting brochures? So let's just talk about that a little bit. I want to start with you, Cheryl. You know, when Rick brought you in, you know, it was really to help him into social dynamics, and you know, your background obviously in the media, you know, in the news media, and you know, how is it going since you've been with Rick, and are you seeing any momentum with my friends in the Document Entity channel, these owners, you know, getting out there in front of the camera, because it's so important that they do this.
There's a loaded question.
Yeah, this is a family show, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean it's been fantastic. Coming up on 2 years actually tomorrow here at Into Communications. It's been great. I think, you know, the thing for me is just being able to come in and provide value for clients and being able to see the difference in the way that we approach marketing content, which, you know, is very different from a lot of companies and what they're doing. So, you know, it's very rewarding, especially when we're looking at, you know, we're coming up to KPI week next week, so we get to look at the numbers and what we've done this month that, you know, is better than last month. And again, measurement is key. It is.
You know, Rick, here you are, you have your marketing organization. I know you use actors, you have the studio. I've been to your facility there in London, and you know, I think I did some videos while I was there. So you've put a big investment in this space, but we have seen where video is not so complicated anymore. We have seen where, you know, C-levels are holding the camera in front of them and talking to their audience or talking to their potential customers or prospects. And, you know, how has that changed? And, you know, are you still using the green screens as you did before? Are you seeing a shift in how your customers really want to portray themselves through video?
Well, just first, thanks for having us on, Ray. I think, you know, the pandemic forced everybody to move to a virtual platform. We're now retreating back to live shots, etc. But, you know, when you started talking about, you know, really canned social media content at the beginning, I love it because it's so easy for us at Into Communications to just clean their clock. I mean, you know, what is it out there that's low cost, canned, that really works in any industry? And this started, I would say, back when people started to make websites that were templates. And I know a lot of dealers came to me in our early years and said, you know, I got to change my website. I've got the same website as the guy down the street, and multiple stories of that. So we get into custom websites like Custom Motorcycles, because really the companies want to communicate their brand, their story, and look different given the commoditization of the products and services they offer. And really that's come upstream into social media now. And so I would just caution a dealer to educate yourself on really what are you trying to do? Because I find most dealers, they don't really want to buy marketing. They want to buy what marketing does. And what drives them crazy, literally, is when they think their competition could be posting the same thing. And Cheryl will get into kind of what we're doing from more of a customized strategy standpoint. And it doesn't mean the price tag's through the roof. It just means, you know, you're not going to get a suit off the rack that everybody else is wearing. It's actually going to fit your waist and fit your shoulders, showcase your people, showcase your company, showcase your customers. use video, as you said, that there's no way you can use canned video without showing the same video as somebody else. So we just think that to differentiate on such a critical platform now, like social media, you have to do something different than your competition to stand out, get engagement, and really drive the results. Like Cheryl talked about KPI week, we literally go through the analytics of everything we're doing and how many pucks crossed the line and went into the net in terms of actual goals.
Well, we're all into this personal branding. You know, I'll ask you a question. I got a test for you. Who was the very first CEO of a major corporation? It was a restaurant. I'll give you a hint. That was out there in the media building his own personal brand along with his corporation. Does anybody know?
Ray Cizecchio? I don't know.
No, I'm not. Well, it's Dave Thomas with Wendy's. And I think about Dave Thomas with Wendy's. You know, he was doing this in an environment where there was only a million people connected to the internet in 1992. He started his personal branding in 1989. Could you imagine if Dave Thomas was alive today, what he would be doing with the technology that's available to him today? And I just asked my dealer friends to ask themselves that question. If you were Dave Thomas, what would you be doing? But, you know, we need to be in the marketplace building our brands around us as the owners of these companies and the products and services that we sell. But, you can't do that in a canned environment. And it's scary because I see a lot of this. I see brochures out there. Nobody wants to read a damn brochure anymore. You know, I went to a restaurant the other day, and it was a new experience for me and my wife, and our neighbors asked when I got back, well, how did you like the restaurant? You know what I didn't talk about? The damn menu. I didn't say, oh, on page 29, the meatballs look so damn delicious. You know, I talked about the experience of eating the meatballs and how they tasted like grandma's, and this was unbelievable. And I think sometimes, you know, do we want our customers to just be reading a menu, or do we want our customers to be living an experience before we even meet with them? I mean, to me, that's what it's all about. So, you know, Cheryl, tell me some of the things that you're doing that kind of differentiate, you know, into communications from what I call the copy-paste world.
For sure. And I think the focus here, yes, we understand. The bottom line is that cookie cutter marketing in general, not even just the social media, it just doesn't work because it doesn't separate you from your competition, which is ultimately the goal. So what do you need? And I want to talk about that is to have a successful social media program that actually delivers results, you need to have fundamental things. And the first, of course, you alluded to this, right, is strategy. Where are your customers? Where are your prospects? What platforms are they actually on? Each platform also requires a different strategy when creating content. The second is goals. What are your goals? And for us, a big one that we measure month to month is traffic from your social media to your website, because ultimately it's great to put out engaging content, but if no one's doing anything with it, there's no call to action, you can't measure whether that is helping you or not helping you. The third is customization. Every business has their own story. Whether they know what their story is or not, they have it. So the strategy that you create for your content really does need to reflect your company story, your company values, your company voice. And it also needs to have the people that make up the story in the content. So as Rick mentioned, these are your employees, these are your clients, these are members of the community that you support as well. And then the last one is measurement, which I would also say engagement is in there too. So when you're creating content, it's not enough to just put it out there. You need to create content that is effective, that people relate to, and that are interacting with, and then measure that. And don't just measure how many followers you have, how many likes you have, how many posts you created month to month. You need to measure your social media content against your goals, which is all part of the strategy. If your goal is, I want people to see my website, I want people to go to this landing page, that needs to be what you measure at the end of your month.
Well, you know, you brought up a great point, and I think I talked to Rick about this one time, but you know, we see a lot of, you know, I was beating the hell out of people. Get on the video, it's not that hard, put it in front of you. You know, when I started this, I was terrible at it. It takes time, you got to get good at it. So, but there's also a thing called, what are your goals with the video? Because we do see people putting some pretty ridiculous videos out there. Now, that ridiculous video from one or other's perspective doesn't really matter if the goal is for the person that puts it out there and they're achieving that goal. And so, and I think a lot of times, you know, we do stuff without a real clear goal, or we do stuff without really understanding the persona, who we want that to reach. And, you know, you said something very interesting. You know, your customers might be on LinkedIn for a particular message, but that particular message might not work that well on Facebook if you will. So, and that goes back to the can stuff. Let's just take all this stuff and start plastering it all over social media. Hopefully something will stick. But, I always say, wait for that to come out and you'll see it from your competitor down the street and then just put your name on it. It'd be the same thing. No one would do that, right? But, Rick, as we're coming out of this pandemic now, and I think, Canada's getting ready to loosen up as much as we are here, are you starting to see more activity of people coming into the studio? Are they getting ready to get back in and do some of the things they were doing pre-virus? Or have they changed their thought processes completely and they want you to help them more in a post-virus?
I think everybody knows the virus pandemic has accelerated things, arguably people say 5 years. So what Cheryl's doing with social media, and she can show you quickly, Ray, what people are realizing. If you want to show a couple of visuals, Cheryl, they're in many cases taking the investment in feet on the street because people may not yet be able to meet face to face, and investing in like digital communication, digital marketing.
Okay.
But back to your canned comment, whether it's video or whatever, what Cheryl's showing here is an example of a custom post, and this is just what we do. And so in canned content or brochure we're putting it online, often, Ray, you won't see a picture of anybody from within the organization. And this could be a picture of the parts inventory, a new customer in front of the sign in front of your building. But here we're announcing for this client of ours, great client, they've got a new vice president. And notice how each post, as we show you here, looks the same. So it all looks like your brand and not something else. Here we've got a young salesperson, great potential. We're showcasing their people. This person didn't want to go on camera, so our team created avatars. And again, this is very affordable to do, but it's just a step up from that canned content. And then lastly, Cheryl, I'll show you here, you talked about video. So with our in-house video team, Ray, we're able to basically capture video remote, in person, whatever. And in this particular video, we're showcasing what this client has done with one of their customers in a quick short video. And everybody knows the appetite for video is exponential, right? A picture, and then it just goes down from there in terms of canned content. So it really depends, how much you want to crank up the volume in terms of people recognizing you. So when they're at that point of need for doc management, MPS, IT, whatever it is, they think of you because you stood out on social media.
Well, I think it's just important, we can't market like it's 2000. And the other thing is, and maybe this is a question for Cheryl, but as you look in these organizations today, maybe not some of our legacy print friends, but I think things will change quickly over time. But, we're bringing in people, we all talk about the millennials. The millennials are 40 damn years old. I mean, we got generations behind the millennials that are in the workforce making decisions and helping companies move the needle. And, we have folks in these organizations that understand social media. They've been in social media since they were born. And, we're trying to bring them tools that our granddads used and said, okay, try to jam this into this new world of marketing. And I think as we see more intellect, if you will, pick up in the businesses themselves, then it's going to take that strategy-based marketing. And I think that's where folks like you guys do a great job. And, it's always great having you on. But, I just think that we have to really start thinking about where our investment dollars are. And we always looked at marketing as an investment. It is an investment. It was hard for a lot of us to understand, oh, crap, I got to spend this couple thousand, $3,000 or $4,000 a month. What am I getting out of this? But at the end of the day, it's a long game. It's a process. It's a strategy. It's not throwing a bunch of crap out there and hoping something works. That was what we did in 2000. If you think about our friend Dave Thomas, to kind of end with him, he was out there trying to build a brand, being unique, doing something different. Well, everybody else was probably talking about their menus and how much their burgers cost. He was bringing Wendy's to life. And dealers need to bring their business life. We have the technology. We got the skill sets within Two Communications. Is there anything you guys want to add before we end this?
Ray, I was just going to say, you made a good point. You need to create content. You need to get something out there. And it's not the risk of, I'm spending this money, I'm investing this money. It's what's the risk if you don't do that. So where are you going to be if you're not where your competitors are, and how are you going to do it better? And I love the fact that I think the biggest change I've seen in the last 2 years is customers are more willing to take risks, and they're more willing to try things, and they're more willing to test things out. And I have a fantastic team behind me that also enjoys taking risks. They're very creative. They're very excited about the opportunity to not just do the same thing every day. And we're definitely seeing that in the results that we're getting from the company. So it's been great to come on and talk to you about this today.
Appreciate it.
Ray, I would just close and say that I think it's good for, look, when I was a VP of a $30 million MSP, I had to buy the marketing and I had to look around and understand my options. I think an educated, dealer principal or marketing leader is fairly obvious. But once you look around, I think you'll realize that, what you learn about digital marketing after you know it all, that's what really counts. And that's what we're trying to do, is help dealers basically sell more at the end of the day.
Well, I think when they use it, when I started at the end of the day with Ray, I knew where I wanted to go, and I was hoping I would overreach. And you can see, and as time goes on, you change and you modify along the way. But until you do it, you're just being a copy and paste world. And we all know this, my friends. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and we'll see you all on Monday.